won't blame our parents on this. I would blame us. Good morning, PROFAM. So consideration is less considered when one party is being abused. And today in this video, we'll be talking about being raised as an African child. The good parts, the bad sides, what you'd consider as moments, and those things. Okay, all of them are moments actually in an African home, but there are those, the good sides and the bad sides, and what we would call abuse. So today, before we get right into the video, kindly subscribe, like, and comment, and turn on your notification bell to be informed every time I post a new video. I'll be your host. My name is Miss Prophy, and let's get right into the video. So at number one, let's talk about the kind of parents that we had who never used to render us apologies. Basically, in an African home, the child is always to be blamed over everything and will always apologize for everything. But when it turns out to your parents, no parent is ready to tell you sorry unless otherwise stated. And over which sometimes also this has created an impression. I believe that not all African men could be abusive if they could have grown up in a home whereby the parents they had this good relationship, or in a home whereby the parents used to apologize over everything. Right now, we've grown up in homes and we've seen men growing up to feel like they are demigods, whereby they can never render an apology. Somebody wrongs the wife, and instead of apologizing, they end up battering the wife, because battering is normal in an African setup. There are communities that allow that. I don't know what men are always told when they are circumcised. Uko hivyo inaitwaje? Is it inaitwa in Kiswahili? It's called jandoni. Sijui kama ni Kiswahili correct, but I don't know what these men get advised from there. I really don't understand. But there is a particular community in Kenya whereby it's so normal for a man to hit the wife, and if you don't hit the wife when she is alive, then you're going to hit her when she dies. Like utapiga maiti, so that to complete the culture thing and all that. So I don't know if that thing is correct. To me, I don't feel like. Anywho, kindly start apologizing. Like, learn to do it. Though our parents didn't teach us how to do it, kindly learn to do it. Don't create yourself as a demigod. Dear young man out there, don't be a demigod. Just learn to say I'm sorry. You know, it doesn't take your strength to just be sorry about the things that you've done wrong. Wearing oversized clothes. Basically, we grew up with clothes that our parents used to get bought for, clothes that you grow up in them. Basically, we have big slippers. Like, your slippers could always be an extra size large. Your school shoes, your school bag, everything that you have would always be a plus size, so that you can grow up in them. Let's talk about when you grow up in Africa. Basically in Kenya, is either you grow up to be a doctor, an engineer, or a teacher, depending on our parents. Something to do with artwork, drama, those things that you growing up, you go to school, get educated to be a drama person. Hey, it's difficult. Home, basically. Those are the things that are being considered. I remember in high school, my dad used to invest in me a lot on studying biology because he wanted me to be a doctor. But system, why did you disappoint him? But anyways, let's not talk much about it, because I landed in a good conversations about sex. In most African homes, nobody will sit you down to discuss with you something to do with conversations about sex, contraceptives, condoms, and all that, how you can prevent yourself from getting pregnant and all that. Our parents know that we are nasty people, but they can't open up to us and tell us about sex. Basically, some of us learned about sex in school. Basically, class 6, that's where most of us learned about these things, to do sexually transmitted infection, how babies are made, and all that. But from home, I know. In fact, up to now, these adverts are Red Bulls. You're always like this. When you're watching TV with your parent and that advert comes up, you're always like this. Or these adverts to do with the trust condoms, but they flipped, yeah. Those adverts that trust condoms, you just use, you become busy with nothing, because it's not a common topic in that house. And I feel like, if you know, there's something that's much more difficult to talk about is conversation with sex. If our parents can just sit down and talk with the child to do with something to do with sex, then that means that you've created a relationship, so you can talk about any other thing, because now if you are free to talk about such a difficult topic, what else would be more difficult than that to talk about? Rationalizing everything. In African homes, everything is being rationalized, including seats. There's these homes where you go to, and there are particular seats where the father is supposed to sit. So basically, a child is not supposed to kukaa kwa kiti ya baba. But when you grow up, like, there is nothing connected to that. So it's just, yeah, the father is a demigod anyway. So his things are supposed to be placed aside for him peke yake. The rest, you are others, but the father must, yeah, he has these particular things in the house, around the house and all that. But we are not complaining. It is part of us and it's our memory. Like, it's a nice thing, okay? This blame game. The firstborn is always being blamed over everything when you are younger. As you grow up, the lastborn is the one now being blamed over everything that happens around the house. Makosa yote ya watu wengine wote, it will always be the lastborn's fault when you grow up. But when you are younger, the firstborn is always being blamed over everything, simply because the firstborn is the other parent. Basically, the third parent is your firstborn child. So respect your firstborns out here, because hey, watu wamepitia, like, they've been through a lot, they've been caned because of us, because it was this way. The lastborn akifanya makosa when you are younger, mnachapwa wote. It is always like, wewe mbona ukuambia mtoto asifanye hivi na hivi? Why did you control the children? And you're also a child. Like, how do you control a child and you're also a child? It's kind of difficult. But anyways, that was it. You grew up like that, okay? And punishment. If it was not kiboko ya mapera, you could be hit by a bamboo. If it's not bamboo, slippers. Kama si slippers, mwiko. What other options do you have? Because we didn't have busted banners in our homes, tungeshtuliwa tu kwamba they'll bring nyaunyo, they'll bring pipe. But basically the major things ilikuwa kiboko ya mapera, bamboo, slippers, then lastly it could be mwikos, cooking sticks, that is. Let's talk about the boy-girl relationships. Boy-girl relationship is a no-go zone in an African home, simply because they're not trusted. Like, I believe not all relationships are relationships, like, some are just mutual friendships. But anyway, in African homes, and I won't blame our parents on this, I would blame us on that, because we've grown up in a society whereby we are corrupted, especially the bestie kind of thing. You have a friend, and this friend is your friend. You have a boyfriend, you have those people, and their purpose is just the same. Ni title does not change. That's wrong. So basically there, I wouldn't even blame our parents on that. I would blame us. If we could change that and be honest about what we do, stop being corny, be honest with your parents, tell them the truth and tell yourself the truth. Stop letting everybody be everybody. Okay? If you want to get that freedom back, then learn to be honest. Tell the truth and the truth shall set you free. So another thing I'll talk about is how we never used to get trusted with our parents. So basically, you come home, report something, your parent could take it as you seeking attention, then go and ask that person that you're complaining about, and then listen to their version more, and you'll always be punished. Then you'll get punished for saying the truth, and you'll be punished also for saying lies. So basically, you cheat, you get punished, and you become honest, you even get punished the more for being honest. How we've grown up learning to be good liars. Like, basically at some point at that age, 16, 17, there, no African child is ready to disclose their location to their parent, simply because you'll get punished. You get scolded on phone, get scolded when you come back home, get punished and all that. So basically, you learn to lie because of that. Kindly parents, learn to create good relationship between you and your daughter, and your sons too, because sometimes these people don't go out just to do everything fishy. Sometimes somebody just needs space to breathe. Like, everything is everything to them. They just need space to breathe and put themselves together. So this is even how our children. Why am I becoming a parent so early? So these children, okay, our brothers out there, they go into drug abuse because now they have nobody to talk to, and that's their place of hallucinating and getting out of the original, escaping the current situation. Somebody goes into drug abuse. I don't understand how these parents are so blind to the red flags around them, because if your child used to put on skinny clothes, then from nowhere this child wants to put on baggy clothes, can't you rethink? Why is it this fashion sense is just flipping? Today you are this, the next morning you wake up, you're another person. I don't understand how a girl can be pregnant in their father's house up to the 7th month and the parent doesn't know anything, simply because they hid it in baggy clothes and the parent didn't know anything. Even the pregnancy symptoms, they're always out there. Nobody considers anything. I don't understand up to date. I don't understand how a boy could come home, get drunk, smoke their things from their bedroom, and the parents do not know anything. They don't understand. They don't even pick out something from the behavior of your child. This person used to be all over the place, is always out there ready to have meals with everybody. Then from nowhere they want to be alone, stuck in their rooms and doing their own thing. Don't you see there is something happening somewhere that you really don't get it, you don't understand it or something? I don't know. And lastly, we used to get slapped for petty mistakes, for non-petty mistakes, for thick mistakes, for thin mistakes. We always used to get slapped over things. But anyway, we used to get punished over every petty mistake. Basically, your African parent will want you to grow up more than you are. If you are 5-year-old, you're expected to behave like a 15-year-old, which is very difficult for a child to do. That's why even our children get punished all the time. And with that sense, I think you should Google this letter from the father to the child. It's called Father Forgets. In fact, that was the inspo for this video. Father Forgets deals with something to do with the father who was trying to destroy a relationship that the child was trying to create with them, simply because this child used to come home with the torn stocking. The father could see it, that these stockings are expensive. We could not see that this is a baby. They are trying to understand their way up the ladder. They're trying to understand themselves as they grow. The father could always punish this child over everything, push the child away, which is not nice. But the child would always come back home innocently and still try to express themselves to the father, trying to hug the father and all that. Go and read that story, that letter. It's a nice one. If you're an African parent out there, go and read that story. To some point, it might touch you. It might teach you something. Yes, so that's it for this video. Let's get in. That's it for this video. Let's meet in my next video. I've been your host. My name is Miss Prophy, and bye for now.